Welcome to this edition of Whether or Not. This is meteorologist Joe Bastardi, and tonight we're going to look at whether or not this storm was pretty well predicted because there's been a lot of controversy. Apparently, the president got a hands on some computer models that brought it into the Gulf of Mexico, and indeed, some of them were, but there was a 600-mile wide spread. 7 days away, and it just goes to show you the fallacy of computer models: garbage in, garbage out. You have to try to forecast the weather, and that's why. For instance, in the climate debate, look how bad those computer models are. It's supposed to be much warmer than what it is right now. All right. Well, anyway, this is Dorian, and the eye wall is going to touch Cape Fear, then go into Cape Lookout. Very, very, very close to the track that we've had for several days. I'm going to show you that. Here's the infrared picture, and here's the what they call geocolor, which is a nice, well-defined eye, maybe 10 miles south of 10 miles southwest of Cape Fear, and it's moving off to the northeast. Now, here's our rain amounts here, and I'll tell you what. I think because this moves so slow, it's going to really batter the Outer Banks. It's probably going to be worse than Irene was, because Irene went through there pretty darn quick. But in this particular case, the other place to look for is Norfolk, because the configuration of Chesapeake Bay and the Atlantic forces the winds to accelerate down in toward Norfolk and Virginia Beach. And with 6 to 12 inches of rain and wind gusts of hurricane force tomorrow, that is not going to be a fun time. Here is the wind swath with the hurricane force winds along the coast. Then you see the bulk of it misses New England, although there will be a nor'easter out here, Cape Cod and Nantucket. That'll be the last parting shot. All right, so here's the off the Weatherbell site, our site. It'd be nice if you go to it. This is at 10 o'clock tonight. And then 2 a.m., there it is at Cape Lookout. At 8 a.m., you can see it just inside of Cape Hatteras. And then to the north of Cape Hatteras at, I guess, 11 a.m. Now look at that other band of strong winds that's developing right over Virginia Beach here. And along with that comes all the, and then it goes on out. But along with that is that heavy rain. So that's going to be a real fight going on tomorrow morning. Now let's take a look at the evolution of our forecast. So this was back on Saturday morning. So you see us crawling across the Bahamas, coming up off Florida. Wednesday it was supposed to be here. Thursday, I mean, we've got a 50-mile error there. And then tomorrow night, it looks like we're going to be pretty much dead on. So that was from, what's today? Thursday? That was from Saturday. Here was a forecast Sunday. And what I did here to show clients is how we would compare this to Matthew. You can see the forecast track along the North Carolina coast here, then up as opposed to Matthew heading off to the east-northeast. This will definitely be a stronger storm from the area from Morehead City north to the Outer Banks than Florence and Matthew was for those people. Now, once you get down toward Wilmington and places like that, obviously Florence was the bigger of the two storms. This was the forecast from September 3rd, so still similar. And let's see what we have here. This was the forecast yesterday. It's a little bit confusing, but I was showing the categories with the rain amounts here. And again, the storm is right on top of that, category 2 here, and then Friday, tomorrow night. And finally, this morning's forecast, which is pretty self-evident now. But my point is that from Saturday, at least this forecaster and the things that I was issuing to my people had this going up to the east of Florida. And, I think the president tweeted on Sunday, and both my son and I going, why do you want to fight on this battleground, So I wouldn't. I mean, every once in a while you do something wrong, just say, okay, well, the early models had it, but when I said it, he made the crack about Alabama, and we were going like, where did that come from? So when you look at these things, the average error out 5 days, I believe, is 250 miles. So you can't say there when you have computer models. Let's say you have 25 models, and on the north side is Montgomery, Alabama. On the south side is the Central Gulf of Mexico, with all the rest in between. Can't sit there and say, well, the computer models show it was coming for Alabama. That's not what it says. It says it could be going anywhere, right? And fortunately, on Saturday we caught it and turned it, and also said I took a lot of hassle Friday night when I said this was going to be the worst hurricane ever hit Grand Bahama and Abaco, and I think the results spoke for themselves. Anyway, that's it for now. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.